Hey guys, today is Thursday, the 7th of July. I just wanted to do this quick video and kind of talk to you about brokers. All right. I wasn't going to do this, but I kind of came across this and I thought, perfect time to kind of do a video about it. And really, it's just about just making sure that whichever broker you go with, that they're legit, obviously, but the data. The important thing is the data, right? What data they're showing, okay? Because whatever broker you go with, they're not always going to be the same data, right? They pull their data from however they pull it, but it's never always exactly the same as the other broker, okay? Some are, very on the dot. Some are there might be a slight difference. There might be other times where everything is 100%, but there might be that one odd occasion where the data is, different. It might be a little bit, might be slightly, but you might notice some bigger differences than usual, okay? And in that case, you should really report it to your broker, particularly if it resulted in you having a losing trade or something like that. It's really important to kind of take the screenshots and compare it against other brokers, and then report it to your broker, right? It's really important because you can't pick up on these things all the time. So I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about here, and this is something I kind of picked up during my analysis. So I'll kind of just switch that over across and kind of show you what I'm talking about. So, and this is going to be dependent on the method you use to trade, okay? What your approach is, okay? My approach with this is I like to look at structures, right? Structure highs and structure lows and breaks of structure and all that kind of stuff. Now, what you're looking at here is the DAX, which is the German DAX stock index. It's not important what the instrument is. I just want to show you what I'm talking about here. So, and I've had to draw these in advance. So I don't take up too much time. But here you go. So you looking at this point here, you got the initial structure low, which I've drawn there. Mark comes in, puts an initial structure high and a new structure low, okay, and then comes in, puts in a new structure high. So the high is higher than this high, okay. Then puts in another new structure low, and then we come back up, but then we don't put in a new structure high. We put in a lower high, right? So at this point, this is indicating a potential trend change, okay. Now then the market comes back down. We break structure. Then we break structure, so that kind of signals again this is a potential trend change, okay? Potential, okay, not locked in just yet. I would like to see the market kind of break this structure level, but anyways, that's not the point here. So it puts in another one there, right? So this is kind of indicating to us that we've got the markets, possibly changing direction, okay? By that I mean, the market's in trend and it should just be doing this, right? That's like it's in trend. The moment that it does something different, right, especially when it breaks these structure levels, then you're kind of telling you that it's kind of, going to be making, direction to go down. But at that point, it's not 100% certain yet, right? What you really want to do is you want to see the next move is lower than this high here, right? And then the third move would be like that, right? It breaks this structure. Then that kind of solidifies the trend change, okay? You can take the trade earlier and take a gamble on this, and in the hope that the market doesn't make a high, but it's kind of just almost gambling at that point. But yeah, so at this point you're kind of just saying to yourself, okay, so we've broken structure here, right? I mean, broke this structure level, we made a new low, and then what happens is the market goes back up, right? So at this point, you're kind of looking for the market to kind of terminate around, if it's a true trend change, you're looking for the market to terminate around this level here, right? Around this level here. Kind of reverse there and then come back down, right? The market doesn't do that, it just keeps going up, right? It keeps going up, but not only that, but it kind of, I have to zoom this in. Yep. It goes back up, right? And I'm going to have to zoom this in a little bit more, but it goes back up, but it closes above, right, this level here. So I won't get into specifics of it, but the highest close on this particular move was at about 10,354, roughly, give or take, right? when the market came back up again to retest this level, it broke above that level and closed above that level. So the close here was about 10,419. So that's about, 100 points above that or so. Not much in terms of the DAX, but it's important to note. So at this point, this is telling me that, okay, well, this is potential false. This is telling me that this is breaking structure again. So this is telling me that we're likely going to be, this is a change in trend again, right? This is giving you a signal of what might be happening, right? It doesn't mean that you're going to take a trade based on that or not, but it's telling you these closes are important, right? So it's telling you something, right? What happens next, right? The market just completely reverses and comes back down, right? And this is Brexit, okay? Okay, so just note that down. Now, if I show you this, right, this is which is one of the other charting platforms I use, TradingView, right? So I'm looking at the same thing again, right? I won't go through it again, but you're seeing the, new structure, lower high, and then break a structure, and you get the new lower low, and then the market comes back up, right? Now, what's important to note is at this point here, right, and this is where you don't really see these things unless it's not going to be something you pick up easily, right? So the previous close here was 10,342. Okay, so that's the close. The absolute high was about 10,371. Okay. Now, in the previous chart, we had a close above this level, so the market actually closed about 419, I think, somewhere about there. Right. I'll just bring it up again. Made a high of 10,484 and closed at about 10,418, which was about 418. So about there, right? That's where it closed, right? The high was about up there somewhere. So you're looking at this and you're saying to yourself, well, that's about from the close, right? Looking from the close, that's about 68 point gap, right? On this chart, however, you get the market putting in an absolute highest close at about 10,319. Okay, now 10,319, the gap between that and 10,319 is 100 points, right? So that's a pretty big gap, right? Because and again, this is why I said it depends on the technique you use to identify this stuff. But if I'm looking at this point from higher highs and higher closes and all that stuff, then this is telling me, this here is telling me trend continuation. This is clearly telling me trend continuation, which means that if it is true, I mean, not trend continuation, this is a definite change in the trend. So on this chart, based on this chart, I would have just entered short here, right? Assuming that this is going to continue trend, right? My stops would have gone above, above one of these levels here, right? And that would be it, it would have been in the trade. Now, in terms of the data here, like, this is clearly stop hunting almost, right? Because if you were already positioned in the trade, if you got into the trade here and you had your stops probably above this level here, right? Because you're assuming that the market will reverse around here and come back down, but instead what the market does is it keeps on going up. It would have stopped out a lot of people, right? And then reverse, right? Or if you weren't even in the trade and you saw this close, you would have just stepped back and said, no, I'm not taking the trade. And then the market would have reversed on you, and then you would have been like, oh damn it, I should have taken the trade. But you would have been actually played it safer if you didn't take the trade, because you could probably you don't know what could happen. But if you're already in the trade, then naturally your stops, especially during Brexit, where it's really high volatility, your stops probably would have been pretty tight, maybe. And that's why I said in one of my previous videos is that the safest area to put your stops would have been up here. Would have been a bit more risk than usual, but I guess this is Brexit, so you kind of expect these wild swings. But but the main point of this video is, this is not the first time I've seen these kind of gaps, these kind of variances in the data, and I've reported it before. There's nothing. Generally, they don't do anything really. They just listen, but they won't do anything. And it's important that you kind of, especially if you're new to this, If you see these kind of discrepancies, you should really just like note it down, take your screenshots, date, time, all that kind of stuff. Try and take as much detail as you can, because what's going to happen is eventually you're going to see enough of these and you're going to build a case, right? You're going to be able to build a case that you can store away, right? Because there will be times where you will get trades closed out for no reason. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen on very interesting occasions, right? I've had a few times where I've been in the money and all of a sudden I'll just notice that 2 trades were closed and I didn't close them. I didn't have a target that closed. I didn't have a stop or anything like that. And then I talk to the broker, and the broker on the broker platform, from where they check, they will see that it was closed because of this, which is either stopped out or you closed it manually. And I can remember that I did not close it manually. So, and they'll use that as kind of like, well, you did. That's what our systems say. Therefore, we're right. So I'll leave it at that. And then, yeah, just let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, best of luck. Cheers. Bye.